Well, that trucks race was not the best truck race overall, in my honest opinion. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching the Truck Series race at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the NC Education Lottery 200, and like I mentioned, it wasn't a bad race overall, to be honest with you, but it was not the best truck race I've seen even this year so far, even the best race I've ever seen. But anyway, let's go ahead and just jump straight into the race. So even before the green flag drop, quite a few drivers would have to go to rear because during the practice session today, there were 7 trucks that got damaged in the practice session. Timothy Peters would have to go to the rear of the field, but for backup truck, Drew Dollar would have to go to the rear of the field. Also, Keith McGee would have to go to the rear, and I believe CJ McLaughlin would also have to go to the rear as they wrecked early in the race. And those guys, actually Timothy Peters and Drew Dollar, would have to go to the rear to change. On the front row, you had drivers like Todd Gillen and Sheldon Creed who would start on the front row, and they would take the race lead early. Sheldon Creed actually was able to get around Todd Gillen pretty quickly, and he would dominate the early portions of this race, and he would win stage 1 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We go back racing a lap 33, and actually off of pit road, Todd Gillen was actually able to win the race off pit road, and Hunter Nemechek also was able to get up to second as well on the ensuing restart. Meanwhile, Carson Hocevar was having a very strong run and was running near the front of the race. He came down pit road to basically raise the truck and fix some of the issues because he was kind of struggling early in the run, and this would help him overall in this race. We go back racing on lap 39 event with Todd Gillen being the race leader with Hunter Nemechek on the outside, and Hunter Nemechek got an incredibly, really good restart, and he was able to take the race lead. And then we would have another caution, and a few laps later, we would have a caution come out for an incident between Brett Holmes and Tanner Gray. Brett Holmes actually, I believe, had a flat tire go down going into turn number 3, and Tanner Gray really had nowhere to go. Brett Holmes, unfortunately, was having a very, very solid run, running 15th at the time. Unfortunately, he would follow the race, but Tanner Gray would continue, and Dawson Cram would get the free pass as well. A lot of drivers decided to come down pit road. Tyler Ankrum, Carson Osbar, Chase Purdy, among others, will come down pit road while a lot stayed out. And also, Stuart Friesen also came down pit road after basically missed his chance to come down pit road and decided to come back down pit road the next time. I think pit were open at the time, if I'm not mistaken. And there was also some damage apparently early in the race. They were actually on a previous restart as well. Apparently, there was some damage contact between Johnny Sauter and Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith had a lot of damage. Johnny Sauter actually also had to come down pit road a flat tire earlier in the race as well. We go back racing lap 55 at event with Hunter Nemechek basically being the race leader, and Sheldon Creed had got a little bit sideways on that ensuing restart. He really did not get going on the restart, and then coming into turn number 3, the first second or third major incident in the race actually would end up happening. Sheldon Creed and Todd Gillen would have an incident going into turn number 3. Gillen would spin and collect Sheldon Creed, and Sheldon Creed came down the racetrack. He had a really fast car. Unfortunately, this car didn't really go on the restart, and he came down and collected Chase Purdy, and unfortunately, both Chase Purdy and I can't remember exactly. Sheldon Creed and Chase Purdy would both unfortunately fall out of the race with damage on the field. Then you'd have drivers like Hunter Nemechek, Haley Deegan, Ben Rhodes would all come down pit road, while other drivers like Zane Smith and Austin Hill would stay out for some strategy. On that ensuing restart, Zane Smith was able to get away from Austin Hill, and he was able to come off the final quarter and win stage 2 of this race. A lot of drivers decided to come down pit road, did not end up pitted. Guys like Austin Hill, Ty Majeski, Derek Kraus, Zane Smith would all come down pit road to basically, while the other ones that had not pitted on the last caution basically decided to stay out. Unfortunately, Zane Smith, who was leading at the time and won stage 2, unfortunately, his was over the wall too soon. And Ty Majeski also got an equipment penalty as well. This would unfortunately take him out of contention of this race. On the restart, Carsos were able to get the race lead, and Stuart Friesen was up to the outside and was able to get it. And then on that ensuing restart as well, Hunter Nemechek made an incredible move. He made a 3-wide move to the bottom, the best move of the race, and one of the best moves I've seen so far this year. He dives to the bottom, makes it 3-wide, and passes both Stuart Friesen and Carson Osbar, and just drives off. I thought there was going to be a wreck, to be honest with you, when he made that move. But that move was absolutely incredible to watch, and that was the move of the race, in my honest opinion. And then we would say green for quite a while. Hunter Nemechek pretty much dominated the next portion of this race. And then green flag pit stops started happening. Drivers started off with guys like Carson Osbar, Stuart Friesen, and Bailey Curry come down pit road, and the majority of the field would come down pit road to get new tires and new fuel as well. There would be a few laps where guys stay out, like Tyler Ankrum, Zane Smith, and a lot of them all decided to stay out, and basically they decided to stay out to basically get some strategy, but then eventually they would have to come down the road because they didn't have enough fuel and there was not a caution that came out. A few laps later, though, is when the big one struck in this race with around 20 laps to go between Johnny Sauter, Trey Hutchins, and Drew Dollar. Trey Hutchins, he had a flat tire, and he tried to come down pit road, and NASCAR did not throw the caution, and he basically stopped on the track. Johnny Sauter and Drew Dollar basically collided into him on the left rear, and Johnny Sauter's right side was completely destroyed, and Drew Dollar got some damage, although he was able to continue. Johnny Sauter was not happy, as clearly could tell. Apparently, no one could see him, and I was hoping that they were both right. Apparently, Trey Hutchins, we never really got word of Trey Hutchins is okay. Fox did a very bad job of showing the replay, in my opinion. Fox did a better job. We could have clearly seen it, but it took forever for them to show the replay. They decided to go to commercial instead of show the replay. Another thing I really do want to say about this is, why did they not call the caution right away? They call caution for tire, but they won't call caution for a dangerous incident where a car is stopped on the racetrack because he's got a flat tire, can't make it to pit road. Why did they not throw the caution right away? This whole incident could have gotten avoided as well. And people like John Hunter, who was leading at the time, and Austin Hill also got damage on their car as well because of this. Really stupid act by NASCAR. They have been doing some really stupid things this year with some of the calls they're making this year, and this one's no exception. I mean, it's absolutely stupid call that NASCAR made, but it is what it is. Because of that, Zane Smith was able to get the free pass. And another thing I want to say is, why did NASCAR wait so long to keep under caution? Why did they just not go to the red flag to fix damage? Because they wasted nearly 10 laps of the run. I thought that was really, really stupid on NASCAR's part. And race control absolutely was blind right there. And I don't know what they were thinking right there. That was really, really stupid. And that could have honestly been avoided, in my honest opinion. On the ensuing restart, coming back to the race, you had Hunter Nemechek and Austin Hill on the front row, and Hunter Nemechek was able to get the lead on that ensuing restart. Austin Hill actually was able to get past, was actually gotten past by Carson Hocevar. He was able to drive up to second. A few laps later, it looked like there may have been a caution, was maybe going to come out for Tanner Gray, who got into the outside wall, but basically ended up saying green flag racing, and it basically became a shootout between Hunter Nemechek and Carson Hocevar for the victory. A few laps ago, Carson Hocevar started making up a lot of ground. He was under a second. He was starting to make up a lot of ground in the corners, but Hunter Nemechek was much, much better in the straights. On the last lap, Carson Hocevar was under a second. It was 7/10 of a second back, and he was starting to make up some ground. He was 6/10 of a second back, 5/10 of a second back, and he got down to about 4 or 3/10 of a second, but it would unfortunately not be enough. Coming off the final corner, Hunter Nemechek pulls away, and he wins his third race of the 2021 season and scores Kyle Busch Motorsports, I think, 6th or 7th victory of the year. Hunter Nemechek, he probably had the best car overall, in my honest opinion. He was my pick coming into this weekend. He was really, really, really fast, had a lot of speed, and I honestly am not surprised that Hunter Nemechek was able to win the race tonight. He had a really, really fast car, and track position was a major, major key, and Hunter Nemechek has been really, really fast this year. I think he's really putting up a very strong clinic. He did a really, really good job tonight. So let's go ahead and take a look at the race results of tonight's race. So Hunter Nemechek wins his third race of the year. Carson Hocevar has his best performance, I think, of the year so far. Carson Hocevar is the real deal. He is driving a not-so-great truck, and he's putting together some really, really incredible performances right now. He should not be performing this good. And he's only 18 years old, keep this in mind. Imagine if he was driving for teams like GMS or driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports right now. I think he could be up there contending for the championship along with Hunter Nemechek. An incredible run tonight for Carson Hocevar. Put together a very, very solid performance. And was really the only one at the end of the race that really could keep up with Hunter Nemechek. He didn't start the race this strong, but as the night got on, his truck really, really came in. And he had a very solid run tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ben Rhodes finished this already. Very, very solid run for Ben Rhodes tonight. Again, another top 5 for him. Great run for Ben Rhodes tonight. Stuart Friesen finished his 4th. Great run for Stuart Friesen tonight. He's been having a much better year this year than last year. He finished 4th tonight in tonight's race. Finishing 5th is Todd Gillen, despite, basically having an incident with Sheldon Creed. He gets solid 5th place finish. Great run for Todd Gillen tonight. Chandler Smith also bounced back for some damage. He finished his 6th, solid top 10 for tonight. Great run to see him get a top 10 in tonight's race. Ty Majeski, in his first race in basically nearly a year, he comes back and finishes 7th with Thor Sport Racing. Really, really great run for Ty Majeski. I hope he gets more opportunities. I know he's supposed to be running later this year. I think at Texas Motor Speedway, if I'm not mistaken, or I think it's Knoxville or Texas Motor Speedway. I don't remember exactly which race he's supposed to be running in the 66. But that's also going to help the team's owners' points going forward. A very great run tonight for Ty Majeski. Derek Kraus has basically an incident-free race for once and gets a top 10. Great run for Derek Kraus. A very strong, great to see that Derek Kraus got a top 10 tonight. Austin Hill finishes 9th, and Zane Smith finished 10th after having that issue. He finished 7th in tonight's race. Christian Eckes finishes 11th. Ryan Truex finished 12th. Hailie Deegan finishes 13th. Hailie Deegan early in the race looked like she was going to be a contender at least for a top 10. Unfortunately, her truck kind of went away, and apparently it looked like she got some damage below the car. It looked like that, and unfortunately she was trapped a lap down after the caution came out, even though she really wasn't up front to contend. Another top 15 run for her. I need to see a little bit more for her going forward. Her restarts is one thing she's got to start working on going forward. And I think that she can eventually do it. I just think that she needs to start improving more. But yeah, 13th is not eventually going to cut it. She kind of ran there a lot of the night, to be honest with you. But hey, it's better than running 20th. I think that she'll get better as time goes on. People need to be patient with her. I think she'll get better as time goes on. But that's my honest opinion on that. Grant Enfinger finishes 14th, but not a bad run for him tonight in that 9 car for Cody Rohrbach. Jack Wood in his second run of the year finishes 15th. Tyler Inca finishes 16th. Austin himself finishes 17th. Timmy Hill finishes 18th. Bailey Curry finishes 19th. And Drew Dollar, despite having damage, he finishes 20th in tonight's race. Dawson Grant finishes 21st, 22nd for Tanner Gray, 23rd place goes to Chris Stride, 24th place for Danny Bone, 25th place goes to Corey Roper, 26th place for Spencer Boyd, 27th for CJ McLaughlin, 28th place for Akinori Ogata, 29th for Keith McGee, 30 for Matt Kraft, and apparently he had an engine let go about 15 laps to go in the race, unfortunately. He was running in the top 10 a lot of the race, and bad luck continues for him, and he finishes 30th. Johnny Sauter after his accident finishes 31st. 32nd place goes to Trey Hutchins, the third. 33rd place finish for Jennifer Jo Cobb. 34th place finish goes to Chase Purdy. 35th place for Sheldon Creed. 36th for Brett Holmes. 37th for Tay Fogelman. And finishing last in tonight's race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway is going to be, I believe it was Timothy Peters in this race. So, let's go ahead and overall talk about the race and give you my score of tonight's race. I'm going to be honest with you about this race. I didn't think it was overall a terrible race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I've definitely seen way worse races at Charlotte Motor Speedway, even in the Truck Series when guys like Kyle Busch race in the Truck Series. But I'll be honest with you, this is not my favorite race overall of the year. I think it was a little bit more boring than I thought it was going to be. Again, the restarts are really, really good. But the problem with this track, it's basically a one-groove single track, and it's really, really difficult to pass. You have to time the runs. There were times I saw trucks that were clearly faster than other trucks, but lap cars would get in the way because they're running in that single groove, and they would lose 5 or 6 tenths sometimes when they got behind a truck. And to me, this is one thing I talked about earlier today. I talked about how the PJ1 I'm not a big fan with, and I think that they honestly, overall, they need to basically get rid of the PJ1 grip. That's just my honest opinion on that. But tonight's score, I'm going to give tonight's Truck Series race overall a 6 out of 10. That's just my honest opinion on that. Congratulations to Hunter Nemechek on winning his 3rd race of the year. The next race for the Truck Series is going to be taking place in a couple weeks during the All-Star Weekend, where they'll be racing on Texas Motor Speedway on June the 12th. I'm definitely looking forward to see how good that Truck Series is, even over at Texas, which I think is going to be overall a really bad track in my honest opinion. So, anyway, that is going to be for tonight's race review here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notification on, so you be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Links description below for that, and comment your thoughts on tonight's race. What is your score for tonight's race? Let me know in the console. Let me know your thoughts on tonight's race, and congratulate Hunter Nemechek on winning his 3rd race of the 2021 Camping World Truck Series season. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great and awesome NASCAR content. Take care, everybody.